They mocked the wrong old man. They thought he was easy prey. A decrepit old man dragging a cane through the dusty street of Dry Blood, the most dangerous town in all of Texas. Colonel Marcus Bain controlled every corner, every business, every terrified soul. His right-hand men, the Blackwood brothers, were the wolves who did the dirty work. A lonely old man, hunched over, with worn clothing and that cane striking the ground with each step. The Blackwoods began to laugh, to point, to humiliate him in front of the entire town. But what they did not know was that the cane did not support a weak man. It concealed the weapon of a legendary bounty hunter who had disappeared 10 years ago, a man who had sworn never to kill again after a tragedy that haunted him every night. But he had just seen his name on a wanted poster stuck to the bank wall. Not the Blackwood brothers, the name that mattered was Colonel Marcus Bain. $50,000. The old man had just broken his retirement oath. The cane fell to the ground, and from its interior emerged the silver barrel of a modified sawed-off shotgun. The last thing the Blackwoods heard before the thunder was a voice cold as steel. "They call me the Cane, and you are going to lead me to your boss." The sun punished without mercy when the old man walked into Dry Blood. He came from the east following the abandoned railroad line, a solitary silhouette against the dusty horizon. Nobody arrived at Dry Blood by chance. Samuel Morrison, nicknamed the Cane, was looking for someone. 10 years earlier he had hung up his guns after the worst night of his life. A chase in Oklahoma. A criminal shooting from a house. Samuel returning fire. His bullet pierced the wooden wall. On the other side, a 6-year-old girl slept in her bed, golden curls, rag doll in her arms. He retired the next day. He built a farm in New Mexico, 3 horses, a simple life. Until 3 weeks ago, he arrived home and found ashes, his cabin burned, his horses dead, his crops trampled. A note nailed to the post. "Thanks for the land, old man. Now it belongs to Colonel Bain. If you have a problem, come to Dry Blood, the Blackwoods." Samuel investigated. Colonel Marcus Bain controlled 6 counties. The Blackwood brothers were his executors. All had bounties. He entered the town limping, leaning on his cane. People looked at him with pity. He had studied the place for 2 days. He knew where Bain lived, where the Blackwoods operated. He walked down the main street when the brothers and 6 gunmen came out of the saloon. The perfect moment. Jack Blackwood, the oldest, stopped. They began to laugh. "Look what we have here." Samuel knew what was coming. Arrogant men always made the same mistakes. But what he did not know is that someone else was watching him from a nearby roof. Someone with a rifle and finger on the trigger. The 8 men surrounded Samuel in the middle of the street, windows closed, doors locked. Jack Blackwood approached with arrogance, tall, burly, crossed revolvers. His brothers Cole and Tobias flanked the sides. "Are you lost, grandfather?" Samuel studied each face. "I am looking for work. I heard that Colonel Bain is hiring." The laughter erupted. One took off his hat. Another pushed Samuel. The old man fell to his knees. The cane rolled through the dust. Jack planted his boot on the cane. "This piece of junk seems important. Please, it is all I have." Jack lifted the cane, examined it, did not notice the mechanism in the handle. Samuel stood up slowly. "Give it back to me." "Or what, old man?" Samuel looked at them one by one. His posture changed. His shoulders straightened. "Or you die." Jack frowned. Samuel moved, grabbed the handle, twisted the mechanism, the cane separated, the shotgun appeared. The shot hit Jack in the chest. He fell motionless. Bull fell second. The other 5 gunmen reacted. Samuel already had 2 Colts in his hands. The shootout erupted. Samuel rolled behind the water trough. 3 gunmen fell wounded. Cole and Tobias sought cover. "Who are you?" Cole shouted. "They call me the Cane. I came for the bounties." Silence. That name was legend. You were supposed to be dead. "I was retired." Samuel counted Cole's shots. 6. Empty revolver. He came out of cover. Cole fell. Movement above. On the roof, a woman with a rifle. The shot passed centimeters from his ear, but she did not shoot again. She watched. The 2 remaining gunmen took advantage. They shot. Fire pierced Samuel's arm. Tobias had fled to the hotel. The gunmen kept shooting and the woman on the roof was still watching. Who was she and why was she not killing him? Samuel needed to finish quickly. He stood up with hands raised, revolvers hanging. "I surrender." The gunmen emerged. When they were close, Samuel dropped the revolvers. Both fell. He pulled the derringer from his boot. 2 shots. Both fell wounded. He turned toward the roof expecting the shot from the sniper. It did not come. She stood up, made a signal. "Wait." Then she disappeared. Samuel entered the hotel. Tobias was upstairs, probably armed. He climbed the stairs, 2nd floor, 4 closed doors. "Tobias, you are the only brother left. Come out." Shot from the back room. The bullet pierced the door. He waited. Minutes passed. He heard crying. A woman's voice. The door opened. Tobias had a young waitress, revolver against her head. "Throw down your weapons or she dies." Samuel put his Colt on the floor. "Now move away." The waitress drove her elbow backward. Tobias doubled over. Another shot from the window. The bullet hit Tobias's shoulder. The revolver fell. The waitress ran. The sniper was waiting on the roof of the building across. She made a gesture. "Bring him up." Samuel dragged the wounded Tobias. He climbed. The woman had already crossed. 30-something. Short black hair, cold green eyes. "Who are you?" "Someone who works for Bain. But I just saw something more interesting. I saw the cane in action." She smiled. "And I know you plan to go after Bain. It is not your problem. I also want Bain dead. He killed my father. He hanged my brother when I was 12 years old." Samuel studied her. "Why do you work for him then?" "To get close, but I cannot kill him alone. You just killed 2 Blackwoods. Bain will come furious. A furious man makes mistakes." She extended her hand. "Let us work together." It made sense. Samuel hated that it made sense. But could he trust her? The news reached the mansion before nightfall. A messenger delivered the report. Jack dead, Cole dead, Tobias captured. 8 men fallen, 1 attacker, an old man. Bain read 3 times. He did not shout, he did not strike furniture. The coldness was more dangerous. He was 56 years old, a Civil War veteran. The Blackwoods had been like his sons. "The name?" he asked his Captain Iron. "They say it is the cane, Samuel Morrison." Bain looked up. "Morrison is dead." "Apparently not, Colonel." Bain studied his map. "What does he want?" "Revenge. We burned his farm in New Mexico 3 weeks ago." "We burned." Bain nodded slowly. "The Blackwoods without your authorization, sir." Deadly silence. "Morrison is in dry blood. He has Tobias. He is waiting." "Waiting for what?" "For me. He knows I will come. It is a trap. We send 50 men. No. 10 men. The best. We go ourselves, you personally. I want to see Morrison's face when he dies." Bain smiled. "Tomorrow at dawn. Morrison expects direct attack. We will give him fire. If he wants war, we will give him hell." Meanwhile, Samuel was bandaging his wounded arm. Anna appeared through the window. "Stop doing that. Use doors. Too predictable." She studied his arm. "Bain left this morning. 10 men. He is coming here." "When?" "Tomorrow at nightfall." But Anna became serious. "He brings barrels of oil. He is going to burn the town." Samuel felt ice. "There are civilians, women, children. Bain does not care. We must stop him before. There is a canyon 3 miles to the east, perfect for ambush. And if she was right, and if this woman was betraying him directly to Bain." Dawn found Anna positioned in the high rocks of the canyon. Samuel waited below, hidden among rock formations. They had prepared the terrain during the night. Anna had demonstrated knowing every movement of Bain. Too much knowledge for someone who only sought revenge. Samuel kept one eye on her while he watched the road. At noon, dust appeared on the horizon. 11 riders, Bain at the front, Iron at his side. They entered the canyon without hesitation, arrogance or confidence in their number. Anna let them advance. When the last rider entered the range, she fired. The man fell from his horse. Bain shouted orders. His men sought cover. 2 more fell under Anna's rifle. Iron led 3 men forward to investigate. When they reached the center, Anna fired again. Only Iron reached Samuel's position. The big man fell from his horse, rolled, tried to crawl toward his rifle. Samuel kicked the weapon away. "Where is Bain?" "Hiding with 6 more." Iron closed his eyes. Outside, Bain saw horses without riders. "Ambush. We retreat." Anna had already repositioned. She brought down the last rider. The 5 remaining separated. 2 to the north, 2 to the south. Bain rode north looking for the sniper. He found her, he fired. Rock fragments cut Anna's cheek. She returned fire to everything. But Samuel was already climbing from the south. He eliminated 2 men. 3 remained. The last gunman stood between Samuel and Anna. Stop right there. The shot came from Anna's rifle. The man fell. Only Bain remained. But where was he exactly? Bain stood up in visible position. Morrison, I know you are there. Samuel appeared limping, bleeding. Oh, Colonel, is it really you or the Kane Morrison? My farm, my horses. Why? Bain shrugged. The Blackwoods thought it was strategic. I did not even know it was your land. That is your defense? It is an explanation. I would never have touched your land if I had known. The Blackwoods were idiots and they paid. Now you pay. Will you shoot me? Collect the bounty? Bain smiled. Or do you want a trial? We both know I would never arrive. I have bought judges. Samuel knew he was right. Then I do it my way. I respect that. One request. Do it face to face. Like men. Duel. Anna shouted. Morrison, it is a trap, probably. But Samuel was tired of tactics. I accept. 20 meters apart. Hand over weapons. Son behind Bain. Who counts? You. Bain smiled. 1. Samuel took a deep breath. 2. Tense fingers. He drew at 2.5, dirty, dishonest, predictable. But Samuel had anticipated it. His hand was already moving. 2 shots. Bain's bullet passed by his ear. Samuel's hit Bain's chest. The colonel fell to his knees. How? I knew you would cheat. I started drawing when you said 2. Bain laughed, blood on his lips. Smart old man. And he died. Samuel let himself fall sitting. Anna ran down. Are you hurt? I am alive. It is enough. Bain is dead. 20 years waiting. Why do I not feel different? Because revenge does not fill voids, it only closes them. They loaded the body, rode to dry blood as the sun set. The town celebrated, finally free. Samuel claimed $50,000. Anna claimed $5,000. In the saloon they drank in silence. What is next? Anna asked. North, Colorado, land far from everything. You will need help building, someone who knows how to shoot. Samuel looked at her. Are you offering? 20 years of hatred left me empty. Maybe building is better. It will not be romance. I am old and damaged. I seek purpose, not romance. She extended her hand. Partners. Samuel shook it. Partners. But neither knew that someone in dry blood was already sending an urgent message to Denver. Victoria Bain, the colonel's sister, had just learned of her brother's death, and she did not forgive. 3 days of travel, desert terrain giving way to green land. Samuel and Anna rode maintaining comfortable distance. First night by a stream, Anna hunted rabbits. Samuel made fire, efficient silence. Do you have family? Anna asked. I had a wife. She died of fever. No children, fortunately. Why, fortunately? This business does not leave happy heirs, only orphans with thirst for revenge. Anna nodded. She understood. Second night, Samuel woke up screaming. The girl from Oklahoma. Anna was already awake. What did you see? Samuel told her about the chase, the shot, the dead girl, everything. My first death was at 17, Anna said, one of Bain's men. I stabbed him while he slept. It haunted me every night for a year. Then it became easier. Anna looked at him. The weight you carry is honor. It means you have conscience. Monsters sleep peacefully. Thank you. For what? For understanding that some things are carried forever. They did not sleep more that night. They sat until dawn. Third day they arrived at Hope of the North. They bought provisions. The storekeeper looked at their weapons nervously. Are you hunters? We were. Now we are farmers. The man relaxed. Good. Enough problems without hunters. What problems? Bandits attack ranches. Sheriff does nothing. Samuel and Anna exchanged glances. It is not our problem. They left the town. It is not our problem, Anna repeated. It is not. But we decided to retire. If we help here, it will be another town after, and we will never have peace. They rode in silence for 2 hours. Then they heard gunshots. Ahead, An overturned wagon. 3 bandits shooting at a family. Father, mother, 2 small children. Samuel cursed. Ride. But neither continued. The bandits fell quickly. The family thanked them trembling. Samuel helped turn over the wagon. He did not speak. Are they from Red Wolf's group? Anna asked the father. Yes, 8 men. These 3 were scouts. Where is their camp? 3 miles to the west. Old abandoned mill. Samuel was looking at the children. The girl was hugging a doll. He closed his eyes. When he opened them, there was resignation. We go west. What? We are going to finish this. Red Wolf and his men? Anna smiled. You were never going to ignore this. Shut up and prepare your rifle. But what they did not know is that Red Wolf had sent messengers. Help was coming. And there were not just 5 men at the mill. The mill stood against the red sky, rotten structure, broken wheel over dry stream. Samuel and Anna observed from the hills. They counted 5 men. Red Wolf was obvious. Big red hair, scars. They do not expect attack, Anna whispered. Arrogant. Samuel studied the accesses. 2 doors, broken windows, no guard. Plan. Me on East Hill, you enter from behind. You enter alone. I have the best sniper as backup. They waited. The sun sank. Darkness consumed the valley. The windows lit up. Anna positioned herself. Samuel moved toward the back door. It was not locked. Fatal error. He entered silently. The bandits were playing cards up front. He needed to divide them. He threw a rusty gear toward the front door. The 5 stood up, weapons drawn. I'm going to check, one said, walking to the door. When he opened it, Anna fired. The bandit fell. Ambush. Samuel appeared. Not just outside, he shot 2 on the right. They fell. Red Wolf and the 4th bandit fired. Samuel rolled behind a barrel. It is the cane, the 4th shouted in panic. The man ran to the window. Anna brought him down. Only Red Wolf remained. I surrender, he shouted. I have information. Samuel looked out. Red Wolf had his hands up, but his posture was tense. Kneel. Red Wolf obeyed. His hand was moving toward his boot. Do not do it. I will pay you 10,000 hidden. I do not want your money. Then what? For you to stop terrorizing families. Red Wolf laughed. What? I am worse than you. You killed dozens. I killed criminals. You attack innocents. Important difference. Red Wolf pulled out the knife and threw it. Samuel moved. The knife passed close. Samuel fired 3 times. Red Wolf fell. Anna entered. She verified each body. All dead. They found $1,000 under a plank, also stolen objects. We return everything to the sheriff and the money too. Reward for the victims. $1,000 is a lot. It is not ours. We are hunters, not thieves. They spent the night in the mill. In the morning they took everything to Hope of the North. The town celebrated. They offered free provisions. Samuel and Anna left at nightfall. I thought we were not going to get into trouble. We only solved a minor one. They rode 2 miles. The girl from the wagon. Did she help with Oklahoma? Samuel thought for a long time. No, the dead girl is still dead, but maybe saving this one. I balanced the scale a little. I will never be forgiven, but I can live with myself 1 more day. It is enough. They camped under stars. Tomorrow, Colorado. But tonight they slept more peacefully. However, in Denver, Victoria Bain had just hired the Cassidy brothers, and they were already riding north. 5 days later, they found the perfect land. Small valley in Colorado, protected by hills, clean stream, green grass. Here, Samuel said. Here we build. Anna explored. Good water, defensible. I like it. We are partners officially. Officially, 2 weeks building. Anna was a surprisingly skilled carpenter. Where did you learn? My uncle in Mexico was a builder. I worked with him for 2 years. The cabin took shape. 2 rooms, large fireplace, windows to the valley, then the barn. One afternoon, black clouds appeared. We have 30 minutes, Anna estimated. Let us finish the roof. They worked quickly. The storm roared nearby. First drops falling. The sky exploded. Torrential rain. They ran to the cabin soaked. Inside they lit the fireplace. The cabin held firm. Good work, Samuel said. Your design too. Teamwork. They sat by the fire. Samuel prepared coffee. Anna was cleaning her rifle. Do you miss the hunt? Sometimes the simple clarity. This is more complicated, but better, more real. Anna pointed to the cabin. This I can touch, live it. Samuel nodded. For 10 years, every morning without purpose. Sure, feed horses, repair fences. Small but mine. Do you miss it? Your first farm. Every day. But I cannot go back. It is ash. Then we build new. The storm continued all night. In the morning the valley shone clean. They inspected. The roof held. The corrals intact. We did it. Now comes the boring part. Living here without excitement. Just life. Do you think we can? 2 warriors playing farmers. It is worth trying. 3 months passed. The farm prospered. The nightmares decreased. One October day, a rider appeared. Samuel touched his revolver instinctively. Anna came out with rifle. Trouble. I do not know. The rider approached. Young, sheriff's badge, Samuel Morrison. Who is asking? Sheriff Tom Brennan? Douglas County. I just want to talk. Samuel exchanged glances with Anna. Come closer slowly. Brennan dismounted at a distance. I am not looking for trouble. I come with a proposal. I am not interested. Your name is circulating. Hunters, criminals, gunfighters know that the cane lives. Samuel felt ice, and that has a price on your head. Put up by Bain's sister. Damnation, Anna muttered. What do you propose? Official protection. Become an honorary deputy under my jurisdiction. Makes killing you a crime against the law. That would stop the hunters, the smart ones. The fools will come anyway. Samuel looked at his farm. 3 months of peace. How many are coming? I already heard of 3 groups. The Cassidy brothers first. 2 weeks maybe. All right, I become deputy. Brennan took out a badge. Samuel recited the oath. When I kill the Cassidys, I need bodies as evidence. Understood? Brennan mounted. Good luck, Morrison. He left. Samuel looked at the badge. Deputy Morrison, Anna said with irony. Like a death sentence with a better title. What do? We fortify. They spent the week preparing. Anna built sniper positions. Samuel dug trenches. They placed traps. We turned paradise into fortress. Survive first. Paradise after. The second week ended. The Cassidys did not arrive. Maybe they changed their minds. That night the horses became restless. Samuel woke up, looked out the window. Nothing. Anna was already awake. Someone there. Positions. 3 shadows moved toward the cabin. The Cassidys, torches in hand. They were going to burn everything. Samuel whistled. Anna fired first. Jake Cassidy's torch exploded. He screamed, sought cover. The other 2 threw torches toward the cabin. One fell short. The other hit the wall, starting small fire. Samuel fired from the barn. Luke fell wounded in the leg. Mark ran toward the horses seeking escape. Anna tracked him with her rifle. Clean shot. Mark fell. Jake screamed with fury. Morrison, face me like a man. I already did. You brought your brothers. Your mistake. Jake fired wildly. Samuel was already in another position. He fired twice. Jake Cassidy fell next to his brothers. The fire on the wall was growing. Anna came down quickly, used water from the barrel to extinguish it. Minimal damage. Samuel verified the bodies. The 3 Cassidys, dead. Quick, efficient, necessary. But he did not feel victory, only tiredness. There will be the first of many, Anna said. I know. We cannot live like this waiting for attack every night. I know. We need to finish this definitively. Samuel looked at her. How? Bain's sister, the one who put up the price. We eliminate the source. Kill a woman. Kill someone trying to kill us. Anna reloaded her rifle. It is not about gender, it is survival. Samuel considered. Anna was right. As long as there was a price, there would be hunters. Find out where she is. We do one last job, then true retirement. One last job. Where have I heard that? The difference is that this time we mean it. Anna smiled without humor. Sure we do. 3 days later they located Victoria Bain. Denver, mansion protected by 12 guards. Rich, powerful, untouchable. Almost untouchable. Samuel and Anna arrived in Denver disguised, he as an elderly merchant, she as his daughter. They rented a room with a view of the Bain mansion. Routine, Anna said, observing. Every Wednesday, Victoria goes to church. 4 guards accompany her, the other 8 stay at the mansion. Route, carriage through the main street. 30 minutes travel. Church 1 hour. Return same route. To public. Then we wait for her return. We intercept her on her property. Before entering, the guards, 4 against 2. We have faced worse odds. Samuel nodded. But I need to talk first. Understand why? Because it matters. Because maybe we can resolve this without violence. Anna looked at him skeptically. Do you really believe she will negotiate? No, but I must try. Wednesday arrived. Victoria left in her carriage. Woman of 40 years, elegant, cold. 4 professional guards. Samuel and Anna rode ahead. They hid in the gardens of the mansion, ornamental bushes, waiting for the return. An hour later, the carriage arrived. The guards scanned routinely, did not see the hunters. Victoria descended. Samuel came out, hands visible. Mrs. Bain, I need to talk. The guards drew. Victoria raised her hand. Wait. She studied him. The Kane Morrison, you came straight to me. I came to negotiate. Negotiate. Victoria laughed coldly. You killed my brother. Your brother burned my farm. He tried to kill me. Marcus was all I had. Our family. He protected me after the war. He built an empire for us. He built an empire of blood. And you did not. Victoria pointed accusingly. The Kane Morrison, legendary hunter. How many did you kill? Samuel did not lie. Many. All criminals. Criminals according to the law. Marcus also followed codes, his own. His codes included slavery, murder, extortion. And yours include killing for money. We are not so different, Morrison. Samuel felt the argument cutting deep. She was partially right. The difference is that I retired. Your brother never would have. Because he had purpose, family to protect. And you, what did you have? Solitude. Silence extended. Withdraw the price, Samuel said. I ask you as a human, not as an enemy. Victoria hardened. I cannot. Marcus deserves justice. Justice or vengeance. What is the difference? Justice restores balance. Vengeance perpetuates cycle. Pretty words for a killer. Samuel sighed. Then there is no negotiation. No. Pity. Samuel whistled. Anna appeared on the roof, rifle aimed. The 4 guards turned confused. Nobody has to die today. Victoria, withdraw the price now, or you kill me. That would only increase the price. Then we are at a stalemate. Victoria smiled. Not exactly. She snapped her fingers. 8 more guards came out of the mansion. 12 against 2. I anticipated your move. I am Marcus Bain's sister. I learned to think tactically. Samuel cursed. They had underestimated their opponent. How would they escape now? Anna fired from the roof. 1 guard fell. The other 11 responded, shots filling the air. Samuel rolled behind the carriage. He shot 2 guards. The others sought cover, establishing perimeter. This was pitched battle in the middle of Denver. The shots attracted attention, windows closing, people screaming. Police would come soon. Anna eliminated 2 more guards from her position, but the 9 remaining dispersed intelligently. Some were shooting at the roof, keeping her pinned down. Samuel used the carriage as mobile cover, shot another guard, 8 remaining. Victoria had taken refuge inside the carriage. Samuel saw her through the window, watching with chilling calm. Morrison, a guard shouted. Surrender, you are surrounded. He was wounded again. Bullet had grazed his side. Anna was trapped on the roof. Police were arriving. They needed to finish this now. Samuel made risky decision. He stood completely exposed, both pistols aimed at the carriage. Cease fire. Everyone. The shots stopped gradually. The guards had him in multiple sights. Victoria, come out. Let us finish this face-to-face. The door opened. Victoria emerged, impeccable except for dust. You plan to shoot me 10 seconds before my men tear you to pieces. I do not plan to shoot you. I plan to make you understand. Understand what? That this cycle does not end until one chooses to end it. Your brother chose violence. I chose defense. But you. He lowered his weapons deliberately. You can choose peace. You lowered your weapons, Victoria observed. Interesting tactic. It is not tactic, it is surrender. The guards became confused. Anna shouted, Samuel, what are you doing? The right thing. Samuel looked at Victoria. Kill me if you want. Take revenge. But when you do, ask yourself when it ends. I kill Marcus. You kill me. Anna kills you. Someone kills Anna. Perpetual blood. Victoria studied the disarmed old man. You sound tired. I am. 60 years of violence. I found peace and your price destroyed it. He took a deep breath. But I understand. You lost family. I did too. We are both wounded. We keep wounding each other. Victoria remained silent for a long time. The guards waited. Anna maintained her rifle. Police sirens sounded nearby. My brother was a monster. I know. But he was my monster. The only person who cared after our family lost everything. I do not justify him. I only explain. Her eyes moistened. And you are right. This cycle does not end. Even if I kill you, someone else will come. Then end it. Be the one who chooses differently. Victoria looked at her guards. Lower your weapons. Ma'am, lower your weapons. They obeyed slowly. Victoria approached. The price is cancelled officially. I will announce it in newspapers tomorrow. Thank you. But if you return to Denver, if you threaten my life, I will not. I only want my farm. Then we have understanding. She extended her hand. Samuel shook it. Understanding. The police arrived 30 seconds later. Sheriff Brennan came with them. What happened? Misunderstanding, Victoria said firmly. Resolved. No charges. Brennan looked at Samuel. Morrison. What she said. Leave Denver today. They did not need more invitation. They mounted, rode without looking back. But could they trust Victoria's word? 3 days later, they arrived at their valley in Colorado. The cabin still stood, the horses healthy. The garden needed attention. It is finished, Anna said, dismounting. Really finished. It seems so. Do you think Victoria will keep her word? Yes. She saw what I saw. That vengeance does not fill voids. Anna unpacked. So this is life now. Farm, horses, no bullets. Can you live with that? I can try. Anna looked at the valley. 20 years chasing violence. Maybe 20 years of peace will balance. They spent a week repairing, planting, living. Routine established. Samuel's nightmares decreased to 1 per week. Anna began to sing while working. A month later, a messenger arrived. He brought newspaper from Denver. Main headline. Victoria Bain withdraws all bounties, declares end of criminal empire. The article explained that Victoria had dissolved her brother's operations. She returned stolen lands, compensated victims, was withdrawing from public life. She also chose peace. Anna observed, maybe we can all change, even old hunters and vengeful snipers. Especially them. That night, sitting on the porch watching stars, Anna spoke. Samuel, what do we do now? No missions, no objectives. We live. We wake up tomorrow, feed horses, repair fences. We harvest vegetables. We sleep and we repeat. Sounds boring. It is boring, gloriously boring. Samuel smiled, and after 60 years of excitement, boring sounds perfect. Anna laughed. All right, old man, let us do boring. The years passed, the farm prospered. Samuel aged more, hair completely white, slow movements, but he lived. And for the first time in decades, he lived without crushing guilt. Anna also changed. The hard lines in her face softened. She began to socialize with neighbors. She adopted a dog. Samuel's cane shotgun hung over the fireplace. Anna's rifle rested in a closet, weapons converted to relics. 5 years after arriving in Colorado, Samuel sat on his porch one autumn afternoon. His body ached, but his mind was calm. Anna came out with 2 cups of coffee, sat next to him. What are you thinking about? The girl from Oklahoma. I still see her sometimes. She still haunts you. She always will. But now. Samuel looked at his valley, his farm, his life built from ashes. Now when I see her, I also see the girl from the wagon, the one we saved, and all the others. Does that give you peace? No. But it gives me purpose. Reason to have lived. Anna drank her coffee. My father used to say that the past haunts us until we give it something better to chase. Wise man. He was. Anna looked at the horizon. Do you think he would be proud that I left vengeance? Any father would be proud of a daughter who found peace. They finished their coffee in silence. The sun was setting, painting the sky. In the distance, their horses grazed peacefully. Samuel Morrison, the cane, legendary bounty hunter, lived 10 more years in that valley. He died at 75 in his bed with Ana holding his hand. His last words were simple: "No more nightmares." Ana Delgado lived until 68. She maintained the farm another 13 years after Samuel's death. When she died, she bequeathed the land to the local town with one condition: that it become a refuge for anyone seeking new life. Today the valley is called the Cain's Refuge. A small cabin serves as a museum. Samuel's Cain shotgun hangs on display. Ana's rifle is next to it. And on a bronze plaque, final words: "Here lived two warriors who chose peace. May their stories remember it is never too late to choose differently." Visitors come from all over the country. Some are veterans seeking healing, others are people fleeing violent lives. All find the same message in that peaceful valley: vengeance does not heal, it only perpetuates pain. But peace, although difficult to build, is worth every effort. Samuel and Ana did not erase their pasts. Their victims were still dead. Their sins were still sins. But they built something better with the time they had left. And that, in the end, was enough. Victoria Bain lived until 70 years. She never married, never had children, but she used her brother's fortune to build schools in towns that Marcus had destroyed. She financed orphanages, compensated families. It was not complete redemption. It never could be, but it was something. In her will, she left a letter to be read publicly. "My brother Marcus was a monster. I was complicit by silence. Samuel Morrison showed me that cycles of violence only end when someone has courage to stop. He had that courage. I tried to have it too." To those who read this, choose peace when you can. Choose life over death. Choose to build over destroy. Not because it is easy, but because it is the only thing that saves us from becoming monsters. Sheriff Tom Brennan maintained contact with Ana for years after Samuel's death. He sent her letters, updates about the county. In one of his last letters he wrote, "Ana, I have seen many violent men in my career. Most die violently. Some escape, but never find peace. Samuel Morrison was the only one who truly achieved it, not because he forgot what he did, but because he accepted to live with it while building something better. That is real courage. Not the courage to shoot, but the courage to stop shooting." Friends, this ends the story of the Cane. A reminder that no matter how much violence we have seen, how much darkness we carry, we can always choose another path. Samuel and Ana did not erase their pasts. The girl from Oklahoma was still dead. Ana's victims were still dead. The Blackwood brothers, Colonel Bain, Red Wolf, all were still dead. But they chose not to add more bodies to that list. They chose to build instead of destroy. They chose life instead of death, and that made all the difference. If this story touched your heart, let me know in the comments. Tell me what you would choose, vengeance or peace. And from what country are you listening? Remember, it is never too late to choose differently. It is never too late to hang up your weapons and build something better. As the plaque said at the Cain's Refuge, it is never too late to choose peace. We will see you in the next story from the Old West. Until then, may we all find our own peaceful valleys. May we all hang up our weapons and build something worthwhile. May we all find peace before the end. The legacy of Samuel Morrison and Ana Delgado lived on not just in the physical refuge they left behind, but in the countless lives they touched through their choice to lay down their weapons. The Cain's Refuge became more than a museum or memorial. It became a living testament to the power of redemption and the possibility of change. Every year, dozens of former soldiers, retired lawmen, and those scarred by violence made pilgrimages to the valley in Colorado. They came seeking what Samuel and Ana had found, that elusive peace that seemed impossible in a world of blood and vengeance. The curator of the museum, a woman named Sarah who had inherited the position from her grandmother, would tell visitors the story as it had been passed down through generations. She would point to the Cain shotgun hanging on the wall, its silver barrel dulled by time but still impressive in its deadly ingenuity. This weapon, she would explain, represented both the violence of Samuel's past and his willingness to set it aside. The mechanism that transformed a walking stick into a lethal instrument was a metaphor for transformation itself, the ability to change from one thing into another. Samuel Morrison had been the Cain, the legendary bounty hunter. But he chose to become simply Samuel, the farmer, the builder, the man who sought peace. Visitors would often ask about the moment when Samuel confronted Victoria Bain in Denver, when he laid down his weapons in surrender not of defeat but of principle. Sarah would explain that this was perhaps the bravest thing Samuel ever did, more courageous than any gunfight or manhunt. To face armed enemies while defenseless, to trust in the power of choice and conscience rather than bullets, required a strength that few possessed. Victoria Bain's own transformation, her decision to dismantle her brother's empire and dedicate her fortune to healing the wounds he had inflicted, proved that Samuel's faith was not misplaced. One act of courage, one refusal to perpetuate the cycle, had rippled outward to change multiple lives. The story of Ana Delgado held its own power. A woman who had spent 2 decades preparing to kill the man who destroyed her family, who had positioned herself within his organization waiting for the perfect moment, only to find a different path when she met an old man with a cane. Her choice to join Samuel, to help him not out of shared vengeance but shared understanding, showed that even the deepest hatreds could be redirected toward something constructive. Ana had been a weapon herself, as deadly as any rifle, but she chose to become a builder, a farmer, a friend. Her skill with carpentry, learned from her uncle in Mexico, became as important as her skill with a rifle once was. The relationship between Samuel and Ana fascinated many who heard their story. It was never romantic, never complicated by desires or expectations beyond partnership and mutual respect. They were 2 damaged souls who recognized each other's pain and chose to heal together. They gave each other permission to be broken while working to become whole. In an age when relationships were often defined by romance or blood, their bond showed that the deepest connections could be forged through shared purpose and understanding. They were partners in the truest sense, equals who built something together that neither could have built alone. The valley itself seemed to hold some quality that facilitated transformation. Those who came seeking refuge reported feeling a weight lift from their shoulders as they walked the land Samuel and Ana had cultivated. The cabin where they lived their final years stood as it had been, carefully preserved with its 2 rooms, large fireplace, and windows overlooking the peaceful landscape. Visitors could sit where Samuel and Ana had sat, drink coffee where they drank it, look out at the same hills and streams. Many reported having revelations during these quiet moments, sudden clarity about their own lives and choices. The land held no magic, but it held example, proof that change was possible, that peace could be found. The museum displayed not just Samuel's cane shotgun and Ana's rifle, but also objects from their daily lives. Farming tools, worn but well maintained. The coffee pot they used every morning. Ana's carpentry tools. Samuel's collection of books, surprisingly extensive for a former bounty hunter. These items told the story of their transformation more eloquently than any plaque or sign. Here were the instruments of a peaceful life, the tools of building rather than destroying. Children who visited would often be more fascinated by these everyday objects than by the weapons, perhaps sensing instinctively that the true story was not about guns and violence, but about what came after. Sheriff Tom Brennan's letters to Ana, carefully preserved and displayed in protective cases, provided intimate glimpses into their later years. Brennan wrote about the impact their story had on the region, how knowledge that the legendary cane had chosen peace inspired others to lay down arms and seek better lives. He wrote about criminals who turned themselves in, citing Samuel's example. He wrote about feuds that ended because one party or another decided to be the one who chose differently. Samuel and Ana never sought to be examples or inspiration. They simply tried to live quietly and find personal peace. But their story spread nonetheless, carried by those who witnessed their transformation and those who were changed by it. One letter from Brennan, written shortly before his own death, reflected on what Samuel had told him during their last conversation. Morrison said to me, the sheriff wrote, that every morning he woke up and made a choice. He could dwell on the girl from Oklahoma, the innocent he had accidentally killed, and let that guilt consume him. Or he could get up, feed his horses, work his land, and do some small good that day. He said the guilt never left, the weight never lifted, but he learned to carry it while still moving forward. He said that was the secret if there was one. Not to forget or be forgiven, but to acknowledge the weight and keep walking anyway. To do the next right thing even while carrying the burden of past wrongs. Ana's own writings, discovered after her death in a journal she kept during her final years, revealed similar reflections. She wrote about the first man she killed, how his face appeared in her dreams for months afterward. She wrote about the gradual hardening that came with each subsequent killing, the dangerous numbness that set in. She wrote about meeting Samuel and seeing in his eyes the same haunted quality she felt in herself. She wrote about the decision to help him, not because she believed in his quest for vengeance against Bane, but because she recognized a kindred spirit who might understand her own internal war. And she wrote about the moment in the canyon when she realized she did not have to kill anymore, that the purpose she had clung to for 20 years could be released. The most powerful entry in Anna's journal, often quoted by Sarah during museum tours, came from her final year. Anna wrote, "I am 67 years old. My body aches, my hands shake sometimes from old wounds, but I am more at peace than I ever was at 20, when my body was strong and my hands were steady on a rifle. Youth and strength are wasted on those who use them for destruction. True power comes with age and wisdom, when we finally understand that building takes more courage than destroying, that peace requires more strength than war. Samuel understood this. He taught me through example, not words. And now, as my time grows short, I find I am grateful, not for the violence of my past, but for the peace of my present. Not for the years I spent hunting, but for the years I spent building. If my life has any meaning, it is this. It is never too late to change." The bronze plaque at the entrance to the refuge bore these words from Anna's journal alongside the dedication to Samuel. Together they formed a powerful message that resonated across generations. Visitors would stand before the plaque, reading and rereading the words, many with tears in their eyes. Veterans of foreign wars, men who had killed and seen killing, former gang members trying to escape cycles of violence, abuse survivors seeking to break patterns of trauma. They all found something in these simple words, a permission they had not given themselves, a possibility they had not imagined. Change was possible. Peace was achievable. It was never too late. The physical transformation of the valley over the years since Samuel and Anna's deaths illustrated the continuing power of their choice. What had been a small farm worked by two people had grown into a thriving community. The town that inherited the land had built small cottages around the original cabin, simple structures where those seeking refuge could stay for weeks or months as they worked through their own transformations. A community garden flourished where Samuel and Anna's original plots had been. A workshop taught carpentry and other trades to those who needed new skills for new lives. A counseling center, staffed by volunteers who were themselves former residents of the refuge, provided support for those wrestling with trauma and guilt. The economic model of the refuge was innovative and sustainable. Those who came seeking help were expected to work, contributing their labor to the maintenance and expansion of the community. But they were also given space to heal, to think, to process their pasts. The work was therapeutic, the physical labor of building and farming providing structure and purpose, while the quiet of the valley provided room for reflection. Many who came for a few weeks stayed for months. Some stayed for years. A few never left, becoming permanent residents and stewards of the refuge. They had found their own peaceful valley, their own version of what Samuel and Anna created. The refuge faced challenges over the years. There were always those who questioned whether violent men deserved such grace, whether killers and criminals should be given second chances. There were practical concerns about safety and security. And there were philosophical debates about justice and redemption. But the refuge endured, supported by the undeniable evidence of transformed lives. Men and women who arrived broken and dangerous left whole and peaceful. The recidivism rate was nearly zero among those who completed a stay at the refuge. Whatever happened in that Colorado Valley, whatever combination of example, environment, and personal choice, it worked. Sarah, the curator, had her own connection to the refuge's mission. Her grandfather had been one of the first to come seeking help, a violent man haunted by his actions during wartime. He had read about Samuel Morrison in a newspaper article, learned about the refuge, and made the journey to Colorado with nothing but the clothes on his back and a desperate hope for change. He spent 2 years at the refuge, working through his trauma, learning to live with his memories without being controlled by them. He met Sarah's grandmother there, another lost soul seeking peace. They married, raised a family, and dedicated their lives to maintaining the refuge that had saved them. Sarah grew up hearing stories about the Kane and Anna, about the transformative power of choosing differently. She had dedicated her own life to preserving their legacy and sharing their story. On the anniversary of Samuel's death each year, the refuge held a ceremony. Current residents, former residents, and visitors gathered at the cabin. Someone would read from Anna's journal. Someone else would read from Sheriff Brennan's letters. They would talk about the cycles of violence in their own lives and communities, about the challenges of choosing peace in a world that often demanded vengeance. And they would commit, individually and collectively, to being people who chose differently, who broke cycles rather than perpetuating them. The ceremony was simple but profound, a recognition that the work Samuel and Anna began was never finished, that each generation and each individual had to make the choice again and again. The story of the cane reminds us that our pasts do not have to define our futures. Samuel Morrison killed many men in his career as a bounty hunter. He also accidentally killed an innocent child, a tragedy that haunted him for the rest of his life. He could have let that guilt destroy him. He could have continued killing until someone faster or luckier ended his life. Instead, he chose to stop. He chose to build. He chose to carry his guilt while still doing good in the world. That choice did not erase his past or bring back those who had died. But it created something new, something better, something that continued to ripple outward decades after his death. Ana Delgado spent 20 years preparing to kill Marcus Bain, 2 decades consumed by hatred and the thirst for revenge. When she finally had her opportunity, when Bain was dead and her vengeance was complete, she discovered what Samuel already knew. Revenge did not fill the void. It did not heal the wound. It did not bring back her father or brother. She could have continued down that path, finding new enemies, new reasons to hate, new targets for her anger. Instead, she chose to build. She chose to create rather than destroy. And in that choice, she found more satisfaction and peace than violence had ever provided. Their partnership showed that we do not have to transform alone. Change is difficult, perhaps impossible, in isolation. We need witnesses to our struggle, companions on the journey, partners who understand because they have walked the same dark paths. Samuel and Anna gave that to each other. They did not judge each other's pasts. They did not try to minimize or excuse their actions. They simply acknowledged the reality of who they had been while supporting each other in becoming something different. That mutual support, that shared commitment to change, made their transformation possible and sustainable. The Cain's Refuge stands as testament to the possibility of redemption, not in any religious or abstract sense, but in the concrete, practical reality of changed lives and peaceful valleys. It proves that people can change, that cycles can be broken, that peace can be built from the ashes of violence. It proves that it is never too late to choose differently, to lay down weapons and pick up tools, to stop destroying and start building. This is the legacy of Samuel Morrison and Ana Delgado. This is the message that echoes through the Colorado Valley where they chose to live their final years. This is the hope offered to all who visit the refuge and hear their story. Change is possible. Peace is achievable. Choose differently. Build something better. And may we all find our own peaceful valleys before the end.